Hey guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and we are going to ring in the new year today with the Gods Renewed banner. They have some adorable characters on this banner, and I'm really hoping that we can get some of them today. So hopefully we can start out a new year with some good luck, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so our plan, oh my goodness. I'm not sure if this is going to be picked up on my mic, but my cats are meowing right outside my room, and I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. But I guess they're just saying Happy New Year, so I'll try to add in a little picture of them because I guess they just want to be part of this. But I was trying to say that plan for today is going to be to pull blue and colorless. Those are definitely the characters that I want the most on this banner. I think that Ash is adorable as one of the OCs. I really enjoyed her in this story, and my regular Ash is actually very highly merged. Like, she came home for me a bunch of times whenever she was on a banner, and so I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit similar on this banner and she'll want to come home quickly too. But I also really want to get the duo because I think that they just did the most amazing job with them. I really enjoy Asker as a character. I think that he is delightful. He is so nice and just has a good attitude and personality. And I love the dynamic of him with Embla, even though I really don't care for Embla that much as a character. I think that the lines that they've shown us so far are so funny and the design is top tier. And so I'm really hoping that I can get them too. And so if we get to 40 and we don't get either one, I have no idea what we're going to do. I'm really hoping that it doesn't come to that. But yeah, those are definitely the ones that I want the most. But I wouldn't be opposed to pulling a couple greens here and there. In terms of Elm as a character, I really did not have any attachment to him in book 6. Didn't really like him all that much. However, he has some very good fodder, so I really wouldn't mind getting him today. If I do get him, I want to give that skill to my Raisin, which I know is probably a waste, but I love Raisin. I always want to give him gifts. And so I think that that's what we would do. But yeah, I'm not opposed to pulling greens. And lastly on the banner, we have Pan. And she has very nice art. I think that it's nice that they added that clash skill, like the third tier of that, for foddering purposes. However, I really don't have any attachment to her as a character, and this is super petty, but I was disappointed that it was her and not Randolph this year. I know it's super, super silly, but but I actually thought that Randolph was going to get an alt this year just because last year we had cats, and I think the year before we did. But I totally get why they went with rabbits this year. It totally makes sense. I'm just being petty. So hopefully at some point Randolph will get some form of an alt, maybe next year. But yeah, I think that those are my thoughts on all of the banner characters. And before we get to our viewer questions for today, I did want to do a little bit of a channel update. Because in my last video, I was talking about my Plus 10 Barracks tour, and I promise I did not forget. I just got super behind with the holidays. I had very poor time management, and so it is not done, but I promise I will have it out. I just need a little bit of time to finish it. The editing took a little bit longer than I expected, but it will be out at some point. And the other things that I want to talk about with upcoming videos, I'm not really planning on doing any engaged content right now. I can't rule it out, but we'll just kind of see how that goes around launch time. And the other thing that I was thinking about was in Genshin. Alhaitham is coming, and he is one of my favorites, and I'm definitely going to be pulling for him, but I wasn't sure if I was going to make it into a video, mostly because my guarantee for him is active on the character banner. However, I will be going for his weapons, so I don't know how interesting that would be. So those are just some things that I'm thinking about. But yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to discuss. And so now I think we can answer our viewer questions. And as always, if I not get to your question, I am really sorry. I will do my best to answer it in a future one. And if you think of a question that you would like to ask me, you can just leave it in the comments with #question, and I will add your question to my list. And so our first question today was asked by two different people. This comes from Potato Thingy and Toshiro Fan 100. And they asked, have you been paying attention to Engage News? And if you have, which characters are you the most excited for? So I'm a little bit behind on a couple of the trailers. However, I have seen the characters, and I do have a few favorites. I will say that when I saw like the initial trailers and release things, there was one character that stood out to me, and that was Celine. I loved her immediately. I think her design is amazing. She looks just like a character that I'm going to love, and she appears to be friends with Celica, so you really can't go wrong with that. So yeah, I think that she is the one that stood out first, but I also think her brother looks absolutely amazing. I know that a lot of people have said that he looks like Dimitri, and that's pretty much true, but I love Dimitri. So I'm super excited to meet him too. But there was another character that when I saw like the initial trailer that he was in, I kind of didn't notice him all that much, but since then I've seen like promotional material and his art, and I have just been blown away, and that is Diamant. And I'm really hoping that he has a good personality because I absolutely love him. And as for like one other character that I'm super excited to meet, I think that I would say probably Ivy. Oh my goodness. I think that that is Takumi, but I could be wrong. Nope, it's Takumi. That's actually an amazing 4-star special, so I will take that. Okay, let's check IVs. And he is plus attack, which is amazing, but he's also close counter, so I'll have to think about that. Getting back to this very lucky question from Potato Thingy and Toshiro Fan, I was saying that the one other character that I'm super excited for is Ivy. I love her design. She's very different, very unique, and I'm just really hoping that she is a nice person and has a good personality because I really like her already. So yeah, that's that's definitely a couple of the characters that I'm excited to meet. But thank you for that very lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this was also asked by a couple different people. This comes from Oscar or Ozzy and Ice Angel. And they asked what I think of Fire Emblem Engage so far. And then there was an additional question that was a little bit related from Allie, and they asked what my thoughts were on Fire Emblem Engage's avatar designs. And I'm answering these all together because it's a little bit related, because I'm honestly a little bit nervous about how Engage is going to go. And a lot of it is related to Alear, because I was really hoping that their designs would grow on me. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to see them. That is amazing. Okay, let's check IVs. And they are minus attack, but I love them anyway. And I think that we can continue to pull colorless because I would love to get a merge for them. And if not, there are always trait fruits. But getting back to the super lucky question, I was saying that I have a lot of concerns going into Engage because the design for Alear has not grown on me. I really do not care for it. So I'm really hoping that they have a great personality because it's not something that I enjoy looking at. And it's going to be the whole game. So I'm a little bit worried about that because it's going to be kind of a new experience for me because like I've loved Robin and I love Corrin and I loved Byleth, and so this is going to be a very different experience if I don't care for Alear. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but on the same token, I'm like also super excited to meet some of the other characters that I talked about, and it's a Fire Emblem, so I'll play it. So I know that that's been kind of long-winded, but that's kind of how I feel about it right now. But thank you for those very lucky questions. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Falcon Flare. And they ask, which units do you want to receive a legendary the most? So, of course, my number one choice for this would be La Rochelle. And I don't know if she would end up getting a legendary or like an ascended form because kind of Joshua kind of set that precedent and she's kind of similar in that regard. So I feel like she could kind of go either way. And honestly, I do not care. I will take any La Rochelle that they give me. But I would love to see her get a legendary form as a staff unit. But the other character that I would love to see that I think will happen at some point is Alencia. She is my favorite Tellius character by far. I want every form of Valencia that they will give me, and I feel like she's a character that really deserves it. She's very important to the story, and I would love to see her as a staff unit. And I feel like they're kind of running out of characters that fit that, that description, and she totally fits it, so I'm really hoping that we'll see her soon. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Atriso. And they ask, if you were granted a vision in Genshin, what element would you like to get versus which element would you most likely get? Okay, so I have wasted my time doing quizzes about which vision I would end up with. And the vast majority of the time, I end up getting either Hydro or Cryo. But if I actually had my choice on which vision I would get, I think that my answer would actually be Animo because I'm kind of a go-with-the-flow person. I'm a little bit laid back, and so I kind of feel like that would fit for me. I'd also love to be like a buffer for other people, which Animo often does. And so I feel like that would be kind of a fun element. But I think my other choice would be Cryo just because I think it's really fun. I really, really like using it. But as for what I think that I would actually end up with, I'm pretty sure that I would end up with Hydro. I'm a healer main. I just feel like it probably fits me the most, even though I think it's kind of boring. But yes, I think that that's what I would get. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Poco Por Poco. And they ask, what would you do differently, if anything, if you were in the place of a lord/royalty character in one of the core Fire Emblem games? Oh gosh. I don't think that there's too much that I would do differently. Maybe I wouldn't be like as self-sacrificial as Celica was, but but overall, I don't know how much differently I would do with her. But I guess there is one instance where I would do things maybe a little bit differently, and that's like in the Verdant Wind path in Three Houses with Claude and Dimitri. I feel like Claude did make some effort to try to sort of convince Dimitri that they were kind of on the same side. But if it were me, I would do everything in my power to not fight the Blue Lions just because I love them. I don't know. I just feel like I could not retaliate against them, and I would just do everything in my power to kind of try and team up, and I kind of feel like that wasn't the case. Things would probably end up the same, but but I think that's the only thing I would do a little bit differently. But thank you for that great question. Okay, smoke. And we get Best Girl. All right, so we're at our 40, but I just feel like pulling these greens. Why not? Maybe we can get an Elm for our racing. Okay, 3-star, not a good choice. It's Arthur. Okay, so let's pull this green because why not? Okay, smoke. Holy smokes! Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness, Brave Tiki is an amazing pull. I'm super, super happy that we did this. Okay, let's check IVs. And she is plus speed. I don't think she's a very fast character, but I love Tiki, so I will take that. And so we can go ahead and spark, and of course we have to take Ash to go with Asker. Oh my goodness. She is so adorable. I'm so happy that we were able to get her. And we get the thing. All right, so we are going to go ahead and end things here. I think this was an amazing start to the new year, and I truly hope that you guys have just as much New Year's luck and you get everything that you are wishing for. And I also want to say a big thank you to everybody that took the time to submit questions. I really, really appreciate it. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.